Okay. So today I went a little bit crazy and flipped the heck out. My bad. I'm sure everybody did what they thought they were supposed to do. But I have a very different relationship with the school system now than I did this morning when I went to work. But anyway, it messed my whole day up. I was listening to different musicals, because that's what I wanted to talk about. I need a break from the Scottish folk. It's getting depressing, and depression comes too readily for me. So I was like, I want to check out some of my favorite musicals, remind myself of my favorite musicals so I can talk about that. Because some of the people in these musicals are not who you'd expect. And I had a long list. But it got interrupted by some jackass bringing a freaking gun to a kid's school in a nice neighborhood. Like, these kids ain't, that somebody on Facebook was like, where are they? That has to be the parents where this kid didn't get this gun off the streets. There ain't no streets. They don't even have sidewalks. Anyway, that's the funny thing. It's like, back in my old town, you knew you were in a nice neighborhood because they had sidewalks. Nice neighborhoods had sidewalks, and hoods, you just jaywalk. They didn't even have bike lanes. But then you go to, like, out here, and sidewalks mean you're in the hood. And it's the countryside where everything's all clean and nice and pretty. And that's where I don't know. That's weird. Anyway. So, Mandy Patinkin, he's a funny fellow. He is Criminal Minds. You know, he was the guy with the beard. I don't remember his name because I didn't watch it that much. I got into it a little bit, and the same reason he left was the same reason I stopped watching, because I was like, oh, this is just cacospectomania. Which cacospectomania, in case you didn't know, is the inability to look away from that which repulses you. It's like, you know, you see roadkill and you want to see if there's guts. Like, you look for something, or you get a video that's like, you know, some creepy murder movie or whatever from real life, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Like, we've all done some dark shit. So it's like, whatever that is, okay, you're gonna want to back the hell off, Bo. Oh, I guess you don't. I guess we're going to the same place. Great, I can tell you how you're driving. But anyway, Mandy Patinkin was like, you know, I don't want to endorse this type of content with my acting career, so I'm going to stop. Which pisses me off because he was in Dead Like Me, and that was my favorite show ever. Anyway, I gotta go get my Coca-Cola. I'll be right back. You know, my dumb ass, every time I see somebody wearing a yellow shirt, or what I think is bright yellow shirt, I assume that they're my friends from work. Because I've gone so many places and had so many jobs recently that, like, everybody that's dressing in that uniform, that's what I associate with my coworkers, because it's like you don't get to know people where you're working. And I just be like, so I'm like out here trying to get kidnapped. Like, I see somebody that's wearing a bright fluorescent yellow or bright orange shirt, and I'm just like I smile at him like I'm stupid. Anyway, Mandy Patinkin. Alright, my favorite musical of all time, the number one, my most favorite one, that's always going to be my answer, is... Oh, you want to go? I'm so sorry, I got in your way. Okay, now I'm faster than you. Sunday in the Park with George. I can't remember George's last name, but... Okay, he's the guy that painted... You remember in Ferris Bueller's Day Off when Cameron was having his little psychotic break, and he was like staring at that one painting with all the little dots, and it's in meadow, and everybody's having a little bit of that painting. The guy that painted that painting starts with an S, and I'm a jerk for not knowing, because he is actually pretty cool. But Mandy Patinkin plays George, and Bernadette Peters, my other favorite, she was in Into the Woods. She was the witch, but she wasn't in the movie because that was Meryl Streep, which I'm forgiving her for that, but it's okay. But she's the girlfriend of George, the painter, and it's written by Stephen Sondheim. Stephen Sondheim is one of my favorite playwrights, lyricists, whatever, because he did Sweeney Todd, he did Sunday in the Park with George, he did West Side Story, he studied under Oscar Hammerstein, who was the lyricist who wrote like Carousel and you know, it was Rodgers and Hammerstein. They did a bunch of stuff together. So he came by his stuff honestly. Even though I can't stand to look at Sondheim, because every time he takes any picture, he's always doing like, and I'm like, bruh, I didn't know the F-boy face was around back in the 70s. But anyway, what else did he do? Sweeney Todd is lit. I forgive Johnny Depp for whispering and mumbling through the whole thing. And Maria Bonham Carter, I forgive her for being in every freaking movie that her husband does, because she actually has, she was in Les Miserables, however you say that freaking, she was in Les Mis, and they did not do that great. She was in Les Mis, and so was another person from Sweeney Todd who was also in Les Mis, and that was Sacha Baron Cohen or whatever. The guy from Borat, funnily enough, the only person with a French accent in a French musical. Alright, anyway. He was in Sweeney Todd, and he was the barber that had to go toes with the actual Sweeney Todd to see who was the best barber or whatever. And then he was his first murder. I just think it's funny that they played in 2 movies together. 2 movie adaptations and musicals together. I just think it's funny. I'm pretty sure it's like not interesting to anybody else. Anything Sacha Baron Cohen, like, I'm amazed by his talent. I love everything Sacha does. He's pretentious as hell. He's not humble. He's annoying. And I don't know, him dressing up like somebody from a small town and then being like, hey, did you guys know that losers live here? I don't know. That's kind of annoying to me. Like going to a small town and being like, let's see how much they hate the idea of putting a mosque down here and make them out to be racist. Sure, they probably are racist. I'm not saying they're not. It's just an annoying thing. But it's okay. I really like him in every other way. Actually, I even like him in that way, because it was pretty funny when he got the NRA guy to like try to sell guns to toddlers. That was lit. That was pretty funny. That was great. No, Helena Bonham Carter. I can't remember her name. I just remember she's Bonham Carter. But it's the girl with the giant eyes and the tiny little Cupid doll mouth. Bernadette Peters has a very similar face to her. There's something I really admire about women who have gigantic brown eyes, and there's a pencil thinness to their eyebrows, but it looks natural. It's not like eyebrows drawn on. I don't know what it is about that look. It's like a Italian Renaissance look. Something about it. There's a lady at my church that looks like that. And I just looked at her, I was like, I like her face. I don't know why. Okay, so Stephen Sondheim. Oh great, I'm getting a coworker text. Yay, I love it when my coworkers text me. It doesn't make me uncomfortable at all. Just ignore them. They go away. Alright, I like Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, and that's the only thing he's ever made that I've liked. That is the only thing he has ever participated in. I didn't care for Cats, even the musical. It never moved me. It never made sense, and I felt like I had to learn a whole bunch of new words just to enjoy that stupid movie or that stupid play. I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. Jesus Christ Superstar. Nope. I didn't get that either. And their newest adaptation of it, where it's all like new worldy, I didn't get that either. And I just wasn't. Sorry. I know I'm supposed to like it, whatever. Anyway, maybe that's why I never gave it a chance. Jesus in the Technicolor Raincoat or whatever. Alright. I suppose. Who did Evita? Darn, I can't remember. Andrew Lloyd Webber didn't do Evita. Or Evita. That was what I was going to name my kid if he was a girl. Davida. That's funny. I can't remember. Anyway, Evita is a really good one. I didn't think Madonna did that bad of a job. I actually really liked her for it. And Antonio Banderas as Che, he was good too. Not Che Guevara. They didn't put Che Guevara. I don't know why they called him that. But he was just a narrator and the voice of the people, like a representation of that which was going on. But Mandy Patinkin, coming all the way back to that, he played the narrator, and he has this falsetto or this like high voice. I'm saying falsetto and stuff like I know what that means. I don't. I just know when stuff sounds good, okay? And I loved Mandy Patinkin. He don't sound like he's got that high of a voice, but his neck is like this thick around. So it's like his vocal cords are like, I don't know what goes on in there. Like he's got super coils. When he sings, his voice goes high and wavers. It reminds me of Tracy Chapman. Like, you know, like, give me one reason to stay here. Like that. Like, oh my gosh. I first heard his voice and I was like, I'm in trouble. That was my first thought. Like, I'm gonna fall in love with him. In my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit. And I did. And I found everything he's ever been in. And, you know, I forgot that he was in Princess Bride. That was fun. But then again, everybody was in Princess Bride. But he was one of the main characters. So it's just kind of funny. You know, Lenny from Law and Order, the good one, the first one, the real one, when they made it all about the case, they didn't divert the storyline to include the personal lives of the freaking detectives. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, Lenny, the one that he always had a wisecrack, you know, he was the one with the big old waggle eyebrows. He did musicals too. His original career was on Broadway, and he did Beauty and the Beast, and he was the Candlestick. He was the owl. You can look it up. Look it up. Watch Lenny from the Law and Order series. It'll warm your cold, dead heart. Speaking from experience, as one with a cold, dead heart. And then, you know, that was exciting for me. That was fun. And then Angela Lansbury, the one who plays Mrs. Potts in that, she was originally in Sweeney Todd. And she was singing, you know, about murder and blood and mayhem. So that's exciting. That's fun. Didn't expect to see that. I don't know. I know too much. Wicked's cool. I'm stressed out. Like, this is a decompression. I haven't spoken to anybody all day. And I've been drinking like 15 of these. Because it's either this or beer, bro. And I don't want to drink any beer. Wicked's fun. Idina Menzel is one of my favorites. In my opinion, up there with Bernadette Peters. I don't see her career going in places that I want it to go, but it's not my say. But I want to see more of her in more dramatic, high-end roles. Like Les Miserables and stuff like that. Like, I'd like to see her, I don't know. But Wicked's fun and it's cute, and the lady that was the main voice of the blonde girl in it, I don't remember the names, she's got a funny TikTok account where she acts like crazy people, and she's just like, one of the things that made her blow up on her account, besides her just being an incredibly talented and phenomenal woman wrapped up in a beautiful package, is that was creepy, is she did, Ariana Grande got cast as that girl in Wicked, which, it'll be fun for my kid to watch it. That's the only reason they make these movies. Anyway, and she, like, congratulated her with a bitter sounding, like, you have so many nice things already, and now you have more, and I'm so happy for you. And, like, she looks like she's gonna cry. It was so funny, and everybody took it serious. It was great. Okay, so, yeah, Wicked. I never saw the play Wicked. I had to go on, Bo. Come on. I had to go on YouTube slime tutorials to find the bootleg, you know, people like recording in the play, like Lin-Manuel Miranda flips out if you do. But yeah, that was like, I had to find that to figure out what was going on, because there's so many parts of it that it didn't make sense. The animals are all freaking out and stuff like that. But it was, once I saw the play, it was cool. And it didn't matter, because the musicals, like Idina Menzel, when she sings that part where she's like, if you care to find me, look to the western sky. And then she just goes and belts out this like note that makes the hairs on my arms stand up. Love it. All right. Heathers. All right, okay. I really want them to make a movie musical of Heathers with the actress that I saw in the slime tutorial do it. And it's the same actress or the same, what do you call them? Vocalists? I hate that word. Anyway, it's the same chick that's in the soundtrack to the musical Heathers. And she plays Winona Ryder's character. And I like her for her voice, her attitude, everything else. But what I like her most for is her ridiculous freaking laugh. She goes like, ha ha ha. And it cracks me up every time. It is so great. It's such a crowd pleaser. But Heathers was so fun. I didn't expect to like it as much. But it's really, really good. It's like, look up slime tutorials, by the way. That's how I saw Hamilton. I can't afford to go see that junk just to see Lin-Manuel Miranda do that winding and grinding on stage. It's like, you couldn't find anybody else to play Alexander, bro? For sure? You couldn't get a job hired by anybody else, so you had to go make yours? Alright, I respect it. Anyway. Yeah, that was good. Oh yeah, you like Alexander Hamilton? You like freaking Hamilton? You think they're the first ones out here? I'm getting all worked up, but you think they're the first ones out here to have rap? Check out Bernadette Peters' opening freaking song. It's Sunday in the Park with George, where she's like just starts going off on George in her mind, and she's all like, "There are worse things than staring at the water when you're waiting for the portrait." And she just, and she goes faster than Daveed Diggs, who's also gorgeous, and he's from Oakland, and I love him. I did not get into any of the Disney musicals. I really couldn't. Other than just the original classics, because the same lyricist that did The Little Mermaid and the way that they do the rhyming styles and the beat styles is the same lyricist that did Beauty and the Beast. So I got really into it. I think he did Cinderella and then he died. So, or he probably died after Beauty and the Beast. I think that was the most recent one. But there's something that happens in my little heart when words fit together on a beat and a rhyming scheme so unexpected and so perfectly. Like, I almost start tearing up sometimes when I'm just like, I gotta hear that again. And I don't know, there's just like, I'm trying to think of one. Eminem does it sometimes. That's what makes me excited, when a word that doesn't seem like it should rhyme so perfectly with the other words. I can't think of one. If I tried to, it would like, whatever. Bone Thugs and Harmony. Okay, let me stop. The Great Comet of 1912. Actually, it's a really long title, because they're Russians, and Russians like long stuff. Natasha and Pierre and the Great Comet of 1912 or whatever. It's a new to me, may not be a new composer and lyricist, but it's new to me, person that took 70 pages out of War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. He was a depressing guy. He was super depresso on the espresso. But they took that and made an entire musical about it, and it's lit. It's so freaking good. I love it so much. There's like, I got really depressed during a time, and I listened to it like nonstop. Like I do that sometimes. Like, it'll be a security thing where I'll just get stuck in this loop. I used to watch movies, like I'd have like one movie when I was a little kid. I didn't realize this was a depression thing. I don't even know what you call it, but like every night I'd put on the same movie and watch it until it ended. Like, I'd watch the entire thing until it ended every night for like a year or however long. And like now it's like I could be like, oh, we're depressed. Fun. Alright. I know what to do. But yeah, it got me through a lot of stuff. Like, it didn't get me through shit. It just helped distract me while I figured out how to get through it. But it was really good. It was so fun. I love, like, the first opening is like, it's a really complicated Russian novel. Everybody's got 9 different names. So look it up in your program. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And like, they're making fun of the Russianness of everything. Anyway, I liked it a lot. I found some good new people that I didn't know about, and I got to follow their career. Like the lady, there's a black lady, thinks she's black. I don't know if, do island people like to call themselves black too? Or is that just an American term? Pretty sure that anywhere. She is whatever she is, and she's beautiful. I don't know where she's from, but she was in, which one's the god with the persimmon? Damn it. I'm a terrible person. I'd be forgetting. I didn't like the play that much, that's why I don't remember. But I liked her in it. Like everything she did. And there's like this guy that's saying, hey, little songbird. And like he's got this really deep, creepy voice, and it's like, alright, cool. Remember that one guy back in the 90s that like sold CDs and like he was like singing these like really, he was singing like operatic songs, and he sang that one, You Lift Me Up. I know the song because I saw the thing rolling on my TV every freaking night. You lift me up to walk on stormy seas, whatever, and everybody bought it for their grandma and their Mima or whatever. That guy's in it, and he does a good job. He plays a fat old guy. It's funny. In the Russian one I was telling you about, The Great Comet of 1912. Okay, we gotta talk about Star Kid. Star Kid. Dude, I think the guy that runs that show is kind of a psychopath. I get psychopath vibes from him. But I don't care, it's fine. There's something I've seen, every now and then I'll see a glimpse of something in somebody and I'll be like, you're terrifying. He's got, okay, the first thing that I saw of theirs was, I'm trying to decide if it was Twisted or Oregon. I'm pretty sure it was Oregon Trail. But, okay, so I'm going to just go with Twisted because that's my son's favorite. So, Twisted is an incredible play. And you can watch it for free on YouTube if you look up Star Kid Twisted. It basically takes every Disney story, or like it combines a bunch of Disney stories and makes fun of it in a really sick and twisted way. And it's really funny, and there's a lot of cursing, and there's making fun of themselves, and it's just really unexpectedly beautiful too. Like there's a, what is it called, foreshadowing, where the author like gives a nod to something that's going to happen later. There's something that happens that's said in the very beginning of the play between Jafar and his future wife or his bride that references exactly what happens in the end, and it's so perfect. And then there's like another thing that seems like such a random offshoot of like nothingness, just silly humor, where the Sultan is like talking about how he pushed his dick in once and it never came back out. And somehow that is such a pivotal plot point in the show. It's insane. It's genius. I love it so much. I love it so freaking much. It's good. It's just, you gotta check it out. Or don't. I don't know. I have no friends that like musicals. I don't have friends anyway. But, okay, so then there's the Trail to Oregon, which, if you don't know, friendless nerds like me used to spend hours. That's probably why I have a hunchback. If I don't, like, force myself to straighten up. We spent hours playing computer games. And one of those games was the Trail to Oregon. I always thought it was called the Oregon Trail, but it's fine. So the Trail to Oregon, you create your character, and then it's like a choose your adventure chapter book, and you've got to haggle with the innkeeper, you've got to cross the river, and the goal is to get all the way to Oregon, where you will pick your shop or whatever your job is, and that is the end of the game. But the funny thing is, because you get bored after a while, so you start making your character names really screwed up. This play takes all of that into account, and at the very beginning of their play, they give the audience cue cards or options to shout out the name they want each character to have. And whichever one sounds the most absurd, the most offensive, or sounds like the most popular, that's what they go with. So in the one that you'll find, they've got mouth face, they've got titty mitty, they've got crab hole. What's the mom's? No, the mom's name is Slippery When Wet. It's funny. And then throughout the play, there's a series of like, you know, like there's a death, and the audience gets to choose which character dies, so that's the person that has to sing the dying song and die, and then at the end of the whatever, it just changes. It's like every play is going to be a different play wherever they go. I've never seen anybody do anything like that. It's phenomenally genius. The guy that did Star Kid also did The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, where a man who didn't like musicals gets trapped in one a la what's that? It's the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So an alien spaceship lands, and because it lands on a musical set or something like that, I don't really get it. No, it's actually really smart, and I'm just stupid and I can't explain it. But so it lands on this set, and like it starts to, I think because it lands there, it thinks that people communicate by singing. So that's how it controls minds. And so everybody starts singing to each other, and they start participating in this hive mind musical. And the guy who doesn't like musicals, he's not infected. And this is the worst thing that could ever happen to this guy. So it's really cool. It's fun. I liked it a lot. It's really difficult to watch for someone who loves musicals, because I think it's actually made for people who don't like them, which is hilarious. Because there's a lot of talking and explanations and people fighting and figuring stuff out, and there's not that much singing. But the songs that are there are good. He did some other stuff. A Harry Potter musical, where it's like, I'm Harry freaking Potter. It's funny. I liked it. Liked it a lot. Thanks for giving me free shit. I'm a girl, I like free shit. Hamilton, I lost my life to Hamilton for a while. Like, I just was sucked into it. It was new, it was exciting. I memorized it, I know it by heart. It's one of the few ones, like, ones that get me like that. Like, Sunday in the Park with George didn't even get me like that, but if I was on a desert island, that's still what I would want. But, yeah, like, okay, so Phantom of the Opera, because I was a kid and that was my first musical that I was into other ones back then, but that was the first one that got my heart. The King and I got me, but I didn't really memorize it. Carousel got me, but that's just because the guy wore tight shirts and I was a little kid and I thought that was kind of cool. The lyrics in Carousel are pretty catchy though. The Music Man, that was one of the ones I memorized. I memorized the rap. That was another one they rap. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's a music man. He's a what? He's a what? Yeah. But yeah, I was into that. That one got me good too. Ain't that guy gay? I feel like I want to say he's gay. I can't remember. He was also in... I can't remember. This is the older stuff that I know about growing up, but I didn't really know about. No, he was one of the really, really big stars. The guy that was the lead in The Music Man. He was like, aren't they making a new Music Man? Oh my gosh, they're gonna cast Hugh Jackman. We get it. Wolverine sings. Can you stop putting him in everything? There's other people out there. I loved Hugh Jackman. He was great in Les Mis. He was great in The Boy from Oz. The Greatest Showman doesn't interest me. I just can't get into it. Zendaya was good in that though. That was the first time I saw her and I was like, okay, I kind of respect her now. Up until now, she was just a Disney kid to me. Just like one of the ones that was like shoved down your freaking throat. But Hugh Jackman's like, I just don't. He's not the only guy out there that can sing. Russell Crowe doesn't need to be cast either. Like, seriously? That was humiliating. On my behalf, I felt humiliated. Anne Hathaway did a pretty good job, and I don't care. She made me feel stuff, and I felt like crying. But, let me stop. Other musicals. I talked about Heathers. What's the other high school musical? Legally Blonde the musical's good. That was fun. SpongeBob the musical's fun. Did you know there's a SpongeCore Screamo heavy metal thing going on? Like, it's SpongeBob screaming into the mic, and it's people playing drums and great guitars, and Gary, like that. Yeah, that, I don't know, that's weird. I sent that to my best friend because she, like, we watched all the SpongeBob when we were kids. Now I'm like walked away from Into the Woods. That one moves me too. When they're singing, like, you know, when it's the guy that's thinking about abandoning his family, and he's like just found his father in the woods or whatever, and he's just like, can we just go live our lives with our children and our wives? Like, I don't know, it just gets to me. That, and I was the type of person that was really into having inappropriate relationships. So, because I had that toxic trait and I acted on it a lot, that one part where she was, she met the prince, she's like, why is it always less or more, or never something, and is it always, or is it never, and whatever. And she, like, so she's basically saying, like, you know, that's what woods are for. She meets the prince and she has a fling with the prince, and she's like, this was nice, but I need to go back to my responsibilities. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. I like throwing myself on the buzzsaw of life and just figuring it out afterwards. So that sounded like a smart thing. I liked it a lot. But I don't know. Passing Strange, that was a very interesting play. And then I'm trying to remember, there was one where I got into it a lot, but it wasn't like, oh shoot, I can't remember, but it was, okay, so this one has like a woman who, she's like drugged out of her mind because she has a psychotic break when her son dies, and her husband and daughter are both trying to figure out how to deal with her. And there's this one part where the girl's like, Mozart was crazy, and she's playing Mozart while she's singing it, and it's really good. And I don't know what that one's called. When I say Passing Strange, that's what I want to call it, but I know it's not that. Passing Strange is the one where a black church kid goes to Amsterdam and wiles out, and it's alright. It was good. I liked it. I didn't watch it more than once, though. It wasn't really my type of thing. Is that my timing belt? Maybe it's a Wendigo. I'm out here in the woods. Everything kills people out here. It's almost to the point where, do you remember when the internet was new? Anybody who's over 30? And the rule of, if you can think about it, somebody's created a porn of it was made. Like, there was like 30-something rules of the internet that turned into like 500 rules, and then it just became a joke. But that was one of them where it was like, if you can think of it, there's porn of it. Well, now it's like, if you can think of it, there's a musical of it. It's really cool. And they were, you know what? They were making, ages ago, they were making, wait, it wasn't Anna Karenina. It was, what was that one? Dr. Zhivago with, the chick from Pirates of the Caribbean. Keira Knightley. She has, if I had the elegance that she has in her freaking pinky, I would be doing a lot better in life. That girl is, she moves like a snake in water. She is so graceful. And her face and her smile, I adore her. I absolutely adore her. I hate that people bullied her because she's skinny. Anyway, that's not even, when are they going to make a Pirates musical? They're so going to. You know they are. It's going to suck because Disney's doing it. But no, she was in Dr. Zhivago. Okay, so they're making a Dr. Zhivago musical, and when I saw clips, when they were like trying to get the actors to feel out the scenes, I saw clips, and Dr. Zhivago is like this big old bald guy, and I was like, I don't get it. And then I saw him act with this actress, and the chemistry between them, I was like, I get it. Okay. It's supposed to storm out here today. It's gonna be lit. school could tell me when it's going to storm, and they're like, oh my gosh, take your kids home early, or we'll send them home. It's going to storm. You're not going to tell anybody there's a freaking weapon. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Bernadette Peters was in Annie Get Your Gun, and that was funny. That was a funny play, musical, where she's like going off on men in general. You know what's funny? I didn't actually like The Music Man except for 2 songs. Seems kind of ironic, doesn't it? Anyway, when I think about, there's the yeah, we got trouble. That one, I liked that song, and then the opening rap song. Those were the only 2 ones I liked. Everything else was like, I'm a sad woman and I'm in love and I don't care and whatever. I don't know. That's kind of funny. It's like everything that he was actually in and was singing and I actually enjoyed, but everybody else, it didn't work out. Kind of like it's a parable of how all of the kids were bad musical players and he distracted everybody and made them think that they were good. Kind of like that. Now I'm trying to think of like the really, really weird and obscure musicals that I know exist. And I'm having a hard time, but I've got a long list in my playlists and stuff of just songs I love, musicals I loved, all that stuff. And there's like Cannibals the musical, there's a zombie musical, there's a Pride and Prejudice and Zombies musical, there is I don't know, there's a lot out there, and they're not all good, but they all exist, and it's really fun. I don't know, there's Come From Away was really, that one made me cry, and it was so unexpected. It made me cry. I was on my way home with my son, and I was like, I want to listen to this opening song, because the rest of it doesn't interest me that much, but the opening song's really good, and it's like, welcome to the rock when you come from away. And like, because my son grew up without, and 9/11 was just a thing. So, like, this play is, like, basically, it's a small town up in Canada, I think it was, or Quebec or whatever. I don't know what the difference is. And during 9/11, everybody got waylaid up there because they couldn't fly anywhere. And so, like, it's just a story. And so, like, I was talking to my son about it, and I was like, the entire country came to a pause, like a screeching halt for, just a matter of days. Bush was like, hey, go shopping. What a fucking asshole. Anyway. And I was like, this is just one of the stories of people being kind to each other in the wake of something horrible. Like, other countries felt really badly for us and reached out to us and were kind to us, and there's stories of people that were abroad, and you know how obnoxious we are as Americans and nobody likes us, but everybody took pity on us and whatever. I don't know. But when I was like, you don't really know about 9/11. It made me talk to him about it. And when I talked to him about it, I started crying and I couldn't talk. And I was like, where is this coming from? Like, I don't think I ever cried over 9/11. I was shocked by it. And I think I avoided any dealings with it. Like, there was movies with it in it, and I avoided those, because I knew it was going to make me cry, and there were books with it, and I think I just blanked it out, and I just wanted to not ever deal with it again. Like, I didn't want to face it. I'm going to do the same. If somebody brings up Corona books, like if there's a book that's about Corona and stuff, anytime I see a mask on TV, I switch the channel. Like, I don't want to be reminded. So, I don't know. But, I don't know. Okay, I feel like I've been going a mile a minute, and I actually gave myself, I've had a headache all day because I've been stressed out and terrified because I thought my kid was dead. Alright. I will try to create a concise list of all the musicals that I have mentioned, and I will maybe try to see if I can remember how to include a playlist of my musical whatever conglomerate. But yeah, don't trust the teachers, I guess. That's my new message. No, it's not. That's bad. That's really bad. Look out for number 1. Look out for yourself. because nobody else gives a damn about you the way you do. Anyway, all right, bye.